Imagine the relentless roar of a failing engine echoing across golden fields at dawn, as a man stands alone, staring at the horizon where his family's dreams are slipping away like the morning mist. That's where our story begins, folks, right in the heart of a $1.2 million farm debt crisis that nearly shattered a legacy built over generations. But hold on, because this isn't just a tale of despair, it's a roller coaster of hope, grit, and the game-changing decision that turned everything around. If you're a farmer, a dreamer, or anyone who's ever fought to keep what's yours, hit that like button right now to show your support, and subscribe to the channel for more real-life stories that inspire and equip you to thrive. Let's dive in. The Thompson farm had been in the family for over a century, nestled in the rolling hills of rural Iowa. Old man Elijah Thompson started it all back in the 1920s with nothing but a mule, a plow, and an unyielding spirit. His son, Robert, expanded it during the post-war boom, turning it into a thriving operation of corn, soybeans, and cattle. Now, it was Jack Thompson's turn, Elijah's grandson, a broad-shouldered man in his 40s with calloused hands and a heart as vast as the Midwest sky. Jack had taken over the farm 10 years ago, promising his ailing father he'd keep the legacy alive. But promises are easy to make and hard to keep when Mother Nature turns against you. It started with the droughts. 2 back-to-back seasons where the rain forgot to fall, leaving the fields cracked and barren. Yields plummeted, and bills piled up like storm clouds. Jack had invested heavily in what he thought was top-tier equipment, a fleet of Case IH tractors, shiny red beasts that promised reliability and power. He'd taken out loans to buy them, convinced they'd boost efficiency and pull the farm through tough times. But reality hit hard. The Case IH models, for all their hype, were plagued with issues, frequent breakdowns, pricey parts, and a fuel efficiency that drained the budget faster than a leaky silo. Repair costs alone ate up $150,000 in 1 year, and downtime meant missed planting windows, leading to even lower harvests. Jack's wife, Sarah, was the quiet strength behind it all. A former teacher who'd traded classrooms for farm life, she managed the books with a precision that masked her growing worry. Their 2 kids, teenage Emily and young Tommy, helped where they could, Emily with the livestock, Tommy dreaming of one day running the place himself. But the strain was showing. Dinners turned tense, with Jack snapping over small things, Sarah's eyes red from late-night calculations, and the kids whispering about the for sale signs they'd seen on neighboring farms. The debt had ballooned to $1.2 million, mortgages, equipment loans, seed credits, all hanging like a noose around their necks. The bank was calling weekly, hinting at foreclosure. "We've got to sell off some land," Sarah suggested one stormy evening, her voice breaking. Jack slammed his fist on the table. "Sell? That's not just dirt, Sarah. That's Grandpa's sweat, Dad's blood. It's our legacy." The emotional toll was devastating. Jack lay awake at night, haunted by memories of his father on his deathbed, whispering, "Don't let it go, son. This farm is who we are." He felt like a failure, a man who'd let down generations. Sarah confided in her sister over the phone, tears streaming, "What if we lose everything? The kids, they've grown up here." Emily, sensing the despair, buried herself in schoolwork to escape, while Tommy's innocent questions, "Dad, why's the tractor always broken?" pierced like knives. The family was fracturing under the weight, arguments flaring over every expense. One particularly brutal day, after another Case IH breakdown stranded them during harvest, Jack sat in the barn, head in hands, contemplating the unthinkable, walking away. But fate has a way of intervening when you're at rock bottom. It came in the form of an old friend, Mike, a neighboring farmer who'd switched to Massey Ferguson equipment a few years back. Over coffee at the local diner, Mike shared his own turnaround story. "Jack, those Case IH rigs are fine for show, but they're killing you in maintenance. I went with the Massey 9545 combine, efficient, durable, and it cut my fuel costs by 20%. Paid for itself in 2 seasons." Jack was skeptical at first. Switching brands meant more debt, right? But Mike insisted, it's not about the upfront cost, it's about long-term savings. That thing's built like a tank, fewer breakdowns, better tech for precision farming. And Massey Ferguson's support? Night and day compared to the runaround you get with Case. Intrigued, Jack dove into research. Late nights on the computer, poring over specs and farmer forums. The Massey 9545 stood out, advanced rotor technology for cleaner threshing, a spacious cab for all-day comfort, and fuel efficiency that promised to slash operational costs. Compared to his aging Case IH, which guzzled diesel and required constant tweaks, the Massey seemed like a lifeline. But the decision wasn't easy. It meant selling off the Case fleet at a loss, scraping together a down payment, and trusting that this switch would pay off. Sarah was hesitant. What if it's just another gamble? But seeing Jack's spark return, she nodded. If you believe in it, let's fight for it. The day the Massey 9545 arrived was like Christmas in July. Gleaming silver and red, it rolled onto the farm under a clear blue sky. Tommy's eyes widened in awe, climbing into the cab like it was a spaceship. Emily, ever practical, asked, "Will this really help, Dad?" Jack revved the engine, feeling the smooth power hum to life. "It has to, kiddo." The first challenge came immediately. A late-season storm had delayed soybean harvest, and they were racing against frost. The old Case would have bogged down in the mud, but the Massey glided through, its tracks gripping the soil like an old pro. Threshing was flawless, no clogs, no wasted grain. In 1 week, they harvested what used to take 2, saving precious time and reducing spoilage. As seasons turned, the resolutions unfolded like a well-tended crop. Fuel bills dropped by thousands, allowing reinvestment in better seeds and irrigation. Repairs? Minimal. The Massey's robust design meant fewer trips to the mechanic. Precision farming features optimized fertilizer use, boosting yields by 15%. The debt, once a monstrous shadow, began to shrink. Monthly payments became manageable, and extra revenue from higher outputs chipped away at the principal. But it wasn't just numbers, it was healing. Family dinners laughed again, with stories of the Silver Savior replacing tales of woe. Jack and Sarah rekindled their bond, taking evening walks through fields that now promised abundance. Emily confided her dream of studying agribusiness, inspired by the turnaround. Tommy, beaming, declared, "I'm gonna drive that Massey when I'm big." Of course, challenges persisted. A hailstorm tested their resolve, damaging crops, but the Massey's quick efficiency minimized losses. Competitors whispered doubts. Sticking with Case IH would have been safer, but Jack tuned them out, focusing on results. By the 3rd year, the farm was debt-free, the $1.2 million albatross lifted. They even expanded, buying back land they'd nearly lost. The legacy wasn't just saved, it was strengthened, ready for the next generation. Looking back, Jack often stood at the same dawnlit spot where despair once gripped him, now watching the Massey hum across the fields. It wasn't magic, it was smart choices, hard work, and the right tools. The switch from Case IH to Massey 9545 wasn't about brands, it was about survival, innovation, and refusing to let legacy fade. To all you out there battling your own crises, remember, sometimes, the bold pivot is what saves everything. If this story moved you, smash that like button, it helps us reach more families like the Thompsons. And subscribe now for tips on farming tech, real stories, and ways to protect your legacy. What's your farm story? Share in the comments below. Until next time, keep farming strong.